Bloody hell!
What is it?
Hey, did you know they've got mucky videos on the internet? There's stuff on here that'll make your eyes bleed.
Oh, Jesus Christ, get off this Russian grot. I'm already on far too many government lists.
Spoil sport?
Hey, look. The OnePlus 15's only gone and leaked in full. What a shocker. Maybe we could bang on about that in Spurt Weekly.
Yeah, or we could discuss the merits of simultaneously banging all three of your stepsisters in the family jacuzzi.
Bloody hell. Spurt Weekly. So as usual, OnePlus's latest flagship smartphone has already been spattered all over the internet well ahead of launch. And again, OnePlus itself is at least partly to blame, flashing us more than a teasing glimpse of the OnePlus 15 in the run-up to its launch. In fact, we've already had a full bareback reveal for the Sandstorm model, along with mention of a new tougher than titanium finish. And on top of that, this week, a whole bunch of marketing images have been doing the rounds online, showcasing what many on the internet feel is a downgrade for that design. In fact, the OnePlus 15 actually looks startlingly similar to the cheaper OnePlus 13T mid-ranger, which in itself was far too bloody iPhone-y for its own good. Perhaps that's why OnePlus is trying to distract us with a bunch of weird stuff, like this lady's thumbnail, which has apparently been humped by some kind of shiny ladybug. Or this picture here, where the eye is subtly drawn away from the OnePlus 15 to the indistinct image of Rolf Harris's ghost peeking out from behind the clouds. So we pretty much know everything about the OnePlus 15's design, but what about the actual specs? Well, this flashy flagship should sport an ever so slightly smaller 6.78-inch AMOLED screen, boasting DC-like dimming for any sensitive folk out there. You can expect quite a few changes versus the OnePlus 13 besides that small stature change, including an upgraded 165Hz refresh rate and a downgraded 1.5K resolution, at least according to the specs what leaked on Weibo this week. And we also know that OnePlus is stuck with Qualcomm for those tasty brains, with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 running the show. So playing games like Wuthering Waves should be an absolute breeze for this thing, especially with the upgraded cooling system that's apparently stuffed inside. But even more exciting than that, somehow, is the bloody enormous 7300 mAh battery that they've squeezed inside of the OnePlus 15. No doubt a clever tits bit of silicon carbon tech. Of course, there is always a chance that this capacity could be trimmed a wee bit for the global model based on various worldwide regulation shenanigans, hooray, so don't get too moist in anticipation just yet. And apparently, despite sporting a rather sizable cell, the OnePlus 15 should still charge up reasonably nippily thanks to the 120-watt wired charging support backed by a bit of 50-watt wireless charging. Unfortunately, the camera tech on the OnePlus 15 seems to be a mixed bag from the leaks so far anyway. That main sensor is said to be an LYT 700, which is actually smaller and generally less capable compared with the OnePlus 13's LYT 808. While that Hasselblad image processing has been axed for this generation, replaced instead with OnePlus's own in-house Detail Max engine. Now, personally, your Uncle Spurt is remaining cautiously optimistic about the whole thing. As well you know, I am a glass half full kind of guy. And in fact, when it is only half full, I like to top the bastard right up. Possibly got a wee bit overexcited there. Spurted foam everywhere. And I keep on topping it up, making me the most positive twat out there. Cheers. Now, OnePlus has no doubt learned plenty from its partnership time with Hasselblad, and apparently Detail Max is all about producing the most natural looking photos possible, rather than over-processed garbage like those iPhones. So yeah, 100% confident it won't turn out bollocks. As for the rest of the specs, well, you can expect an upgraded stereo speaker setup, an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, and an ultra-large bionic vibration motor. Ladies. Oh, and you can expect there to be no bloody alert slider. Of course, it'll be replaced with one of those wanktastical AI buttons, which will hopefully be a mite more customizable than the plus key on the OnePlus Nord 5. As for the software side, well, OxygenOS 16 will be officially launching on October the 16th, rather appropriately, and it'll be packed on the OnePlus 15 out of the box. Hooray! Now, OnePlus is expected to launch this tasty new flagship smartphone over in China at the very arse end of October. I just pray they're not hoping for too many shocked gasps of amazement during the launch from the crowd. And with any joy, this mega spec mobile will be rolled out globally over the next sort of month or two. And in happy news for small-handed folk like myself, it appears that a mini version of this blower, the OnePlus 15T, will be released in 2026. Boasting that same beefy Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 performance, but crammed down into a more compact 6.3-inch chassis. But anyway, what do you reckon? Is your Mr. Happy alive with excitement at the thought of the OnePlus 15? Well, definitely let us know what you reckon so far in the comments below. And speaking of Mr. Happy, it's time for Uncle Spurt's Wee One. I've actually got more of this bloody beer on me than in me. Uncle Spurt's Wee One. It's a short review, not his penis. This is the Insta360 Floor 2 Pro, a smarty pants selfie stick that allows you to wander about the place looking like one of them YouTube dickheads. I used this thing and an iPhone Air to shoot a huge chunk of my Oktoberfest vlog over on the Spurt Hole channel, and the fact that my footage looks so wonderfully smooth after hoying back many steins of beer is the biggest possible endorsement I can possibly think of. It's reasonably compact, pretty much pocket-sized when folded, and yet, in a mere second, you are up and ready for action. It comes with a detachable magnetic clip which you can slip around your smartphone, just slap that on like so, and you're good to go. And the Floor 2 Pro sports a pretty sturdy design despite having many moving parts. And no worries if it does go all floppy, because a quick button press and you're back in action. If only it was this easy for similar trouserial issues. You can either firmly grasp the Floor 2 Pro, otherwise you can also prop it up on the handy pop-out legs. You've got AI smarts to help keep you in the frame. They don't get confused by random stragglers in the background. As you can see, the Floor 2 Pro can tilt and pan to keep you focused while you just bang on about whatever. It's the next best thing to having an actual bloody cameraman. You've got all the controls you need right here on the sticks. You can instantly kick off a recording. You can flip from horizontal to vertical if you want to shoot a quick bit of TikTok action. Of course, the Insta360 Floor 2 Pro ain't cheap. It was 115 quid at the time I shot this video. But if you are a vlogging knob like myself, well, it can relieve a lot of stress and effort. Uncle Spurt's Wee One. It's a short review, not his penis. Well, wasn't that utterly delightful, kiddies? And now let's bring this show to a merciful end with a good bit of the viewer comments. Viewer comments.
Why am I drunk?
So let's start this week with Jason McMeekin. You eat Jason, who says, TechSpurt Weekly 2 weeks in a row. Why, Uncle, with these TechSpurt Weeklies, you are really spoiling us. Alright, you cheeky git. Yes, I understand. I mean, I really should change the name of the show from TechSpurt Weekly to TechSpurt whenever I'm actually in the country and it's not the school holidays or anything. Grebo and Gaspard says, so shoes on the bed is a no-go. How about stockings, suspenders and stilettos then? Hey, I'm absolutely game for wearing all three. Sir, although probably not here on YouTube. I might get done for inciting a riot. Jed Bullet says, Uncle Spurt trying to mount a defense over the shoes and bed saga. My mum told me when I was little that wearing your shoes on the bed was akin to swearing in church, i.e. we'd all be on an elevator straight to hell going down. I mean, bloody hell, imagine being like the perfect, well-behaved Good Samaritan your entire life and then ending up strapped to a bloody fiery pillar with spiky objects probing your posterior for all of eternity anyway. That seems a bit harsh. Big Mac with Cheese says, I like how you always cover cutting-edge tech that I'm interested in, but not gonna lie, I absolutely hate the jokes. They're super corny and forced. They haven't got any better with time. Unlike your mum. Of course, she's aged like a fine wine. No, fair play, absolutely cannot argue with that analysis whatsoever. Forced and corny. Sounds like a particularly horrific shite, doesn't it? 51 Sad Case says, did you ever do reviews for Mobile Choice magazine? Yes, not only did I do reviews for Mobile Choice magazine, I actually edited the bastard for several months. In fact, I was the editor, the reviewer, the photographer, basically everything, because I was the only silly bugger working on it at the time. And on a single person's wages, I would like to add, and it certainly wasn't an editor's wages even. Yeah, just don't get into journalism, kiddies, it's no good. Last week's main topic was, of course, Samsung's upcoming multi-fold, which should be launching in the next sort of couple of months. Good bit of correspondence on that bad boy. So 5Gus says, if Huawei's cost €2,600, imagine what Samsung will charge. ABV22 says that price will likely give people a stroke for real. I mean, yeah, if one of their single fold phones costs basically £2,000, then it's going to be at least 3K for a multi-fold, surely. And I didn't even spend anywhere close to that on my first bloody car. Although admittedly that was a crappy wee 1 litre Corsa which absolutely shat a gasket every time it tried to actually get up a hill. And yes, somewhat terrifyingly, that was almost 3 decades ago as well, so probably not the best basis for comparison. Thomas Kahautek says, I work as a service technician for Samsung partner and this multi-fold device gives me nightmares. But I bet bloody Jerry Rig is absolutely rubbing his hands together in glee. 1512 says, needs another fold so that outer display is independent of the inner folded display, making the phone M-shaped. Otherwise the foldable screen is constantly exposed to the elements and will get easily scratched. Bloody hell, you want to add even more folds to this thing? You're going to give poor Thomas the service technician an absolute aneurysm. And from what I can tell, I think the inner screen is separate from the outer screen. Now, if we just demonstrate using this bit of ripped up cardboard, so I think basically this is the outer screen right here, and then you unfold it like so, and then the internal screen is on the other side, so therefore when you fold it up it's all protected and stuff. Whatever. Chris FireX says 2 of those segments have to be batteries to make this make sense. I mean, it's got to have a significantly bigger battery than the Z Fold 7 at the very least, right? Otherwise this thing is going to be in bloody power saving mode by the time you've finished your sodden Weetabix. John Berman says, still waiting for the review on the Xiaomi 17 series. Well, I mean, that hasn't even launched globally yet. That's literally just emerged in China so far, but hoping that the global launch will happen in the next sort of month or so. And you can rest assured when those lovely buggers do come to Blighty, your Uncle Spurt's greasy mitts will be all over them. Complete change of subject now. Samith Shetty says, Uncle Spurt, please go full southeast in Wuthering Waves. The newer areas are very more graphically demanding and look way more beautiful. This place will also allow you to fly, which will give you a better way to test performance. As it happens, I did actually just unlock the flying ability last week, completely by accident, obviously just stumbled upon it. Unfortunately, I don't so much soar gracefully through the air like a swan in flight as I do smash into every fucking building and tree going. I Am Black Jeebus says, I would love to see you review a Garmin watch. I did actually corner the Garmin PRs a couple of years back at, I think it was the Pocket Lint Awards ceremony, and tried to persuade them to actually send me Garmin smartwatches to review. Unfortunately, I may have been ever so slightly shitted from the free bar, and also I believe I continued to cram endless fistfuls of phyllo pastries into my mouthhole while shouting at them and generally waving my arms about. So I possibly didn't manage to persuade them that I was the ideal review candidate, especially as I've heard bugger all from them since. Mohammed Basouche Nassim says, Uncle Spurt, you look like my dad. So I'm guessing he's also old, bald and bloody knackered then. And I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this, I'm just going to flash it up on the bottom there. That person there says, every time I watch one of these videos, I feel like I've been sexually assaulted. Except that I don't penetrate your body, I penetrate your soul. Which means that technically, I can't go to prison for it. Anyway, that's enough of this guff for another week. So a massive thank you to everyone who tappity-tapped their bit of stuff what I just read out down below, and all the people who tappity-tapped stuff what I didn't read out below as well. Apologies that I didn't quite get around to that, but please do more tappity-tapping of stuff below and we'll get through as much of that as possible next week. And speaking of next week, what the is next week? Well, kiddies, this weekend your Uncle Spurt is going to be playing with himself quite enthusiastically until his wrists are completely knackered, because the reviews embargo for the ROG Xbox Ally X lifts on October the 15th. So stay tuned for some in-depth chat on that handheld game and console shenanigans next Wednesday. There's also some other embargoed shenanigans that I can't even discuss right now, and also hoping to publish next week over on the Spurt Hole channel some beery shenanigans that I'll be shooting again this weekend when I am not playing with myself. So yes, lots of fun times, so please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell if you haven't done already, all of that YouTube bollocks, and have yourselves a most wonderful weekend. Cheers everybody, love you!